All right, week 8. We are winding down. We're getting really close to the end. So just pay attention to all the assignments from here on out. And always, if you got a question, let me know. Just make sure you don't. It's really easy when you see the finish line to stop paying attention to what's coming up. So just make sure you don't slack and finish all of these. So we had exam 3 last week. And then you should have watched the fungi lecture last week also. So the next exam is going to be on fungi, but it's also going to be on plant evolution and diversity. So we're going to do the plant stuff this week. All right. You've got 2 lectures to watch. So plant evolution and diversity, part 1 and part 2. Just give yourself plenty of time to finish both of those. The lab it's probably a little longer than the fungi lab was last week, but it is shorter than the dissection lab. So that's the good news. So you should have time to do both of the lectures, part 1 and 2, and the lab that's coming up this week too. All right. So plant evolution and diversity, we're going to start off with really simple plants and work our way all the way up to angiosperms, which are like flowering plants, which are considered the most complex. All right. The review quiz for plant diversity is due Sunday the 25th. That is also when Lab 6 on simple plants and gymnosperms is going to be due. All right, so just the one heads up on this one. It says you need to collect moss, and there's this. If you read the instructions, it's going to say that you can like purchase moss from a store. Like some stores will actually sell dried out moss that you can add water to, and they'll kind of come back to life. Don't buy moss, okay? Number one, if you have any amount of like rocks or trees or something like that around your house, there's probably moss right now. It's starting to get warm. There's been a lot of moisture. You can find some moss probably in your backyard or front yard or somewhere near. All right. If you need to go on a quick nature hike, it's always an excuse to do that, to find some moss. But all you're going to do is look at the moss. You've got a magnifying glass that came with your lab kit. You're going to observe the moss, and you're going to do drawings based on your observations. You can find moss, I promise you. But worst case scenario, before you go out and buy moss that you're going to look at and then throw away, you can pull up images on Google. I'm perfectly okay with that. You have to do the drawing, so don't like send me a Google image that you found. But you can use those drawings. You can use those images to do your drawings if you need to. All right. So look through. You're also going to have to collect some cones, so pine cones. Again, they're all over around here. Just make sure that the one thing I would say is get started on it ahead of time. If you start like 10 p.m. on Sunday and you go, oh yeah, I've got that lab, it's going to be kind of dark to find pine cones and moss. But if you'll start early in the week, it won't be a problem at all. So you can go through and see the big things, like I said, were the conifer cones and strobili. You're going to need to find some needles and the moss. Everything else you should have had from the other labs that you've done, so like camera, paper towels, things like that. So that's it for this week, the lecture videos and the review quiz and the lab. Now, just a heads up, I'm going to give you a quick preview for everything from here on out. Next week, exam 4 is going to be on Monday and Tuesday, so we're going to do that right off the bat, early in the week. On Monday and Tuesday is your exam 4. All right. If you missed an exam earlier in the semester, the makeup exam is scheduled for next Thursday and Friday. So just a quick reminder of how that works. You can make up 1 exam per semester. If you've missed 1, you can take this makeup exam, and whatever grade you make on that is going to take the place of the 0 that you have right now. If you've missed several exams, this can only make up 1 exam. But it'll improve your grade, because if you missed, you got a 0 right now. Whatever you make on the makeup is going to bring that up. All right. So that is it for next week. Now, the following week after that is finals. Exam 5 is going to be on plant structure. That's not as much material, so that's the good news. And that exam is going to be a little bit later in the week too. But just like I said, it's very close to the end. Make sure you've got an idea of what's coming up so that you're prepared and you don't fall behind. All right. If you need any help or anything, let me know. Thanks.